Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a beautiful Saturday for some Overwatch here for the OWCC. We got Vancouver Vixens versus the Boston Downsizing. I'm going to be your play-by-play caster. With me is the one, the only, the man of the hour, the perfect man of puns, Childish Rambino. Sir, welcome.
Thank you very much, Spiff. It's great to be here as always. How are you doing today?
Well, you could say I've been doing Spiff-tastic. I mean, that's pretty...
As always.
As always. Thank you guys for being patient. We're getting everything situated. We are doing the no skins, the no whatevers. We're getting the map on, and we will get this game underway. It may seem a little weird that the Vixens are in blue and the Downsizing going to be in red, but that's the way it's got to be. And I'm excited to actually cast for the Vancouver Vixens. This is one of their first several games. I just didn't get a chance to do the first one. So, Rampino, do you know anything about them?
I only know that they are new to the league, and that is a great sign, which means we will see lots of hidden potential possibly in these team comps.
Absolutely. And of course, Boston Downsizing, I am somehow familiar with some of these great people, and I got to play with several of their members when we were doing random stuff in my own Twitch channel. But it looks like the first map is going to be Hanamura, a 2CP map, also known as the favorite game type of anyone who plays Overwatch. Isn't that just right? 2CP. CP standing for control point, of course.
The sarcasm is so strong, Spiff, I can almost cut it with a knife.
And if you did, it would actually grow whatever side of it is cut off, just like a worm, and it would continue its spread among humanity and just... Oh. I don't think they can fix it, but I would like to have another game mode. How about you?
Well, I can tell you right now, I would just love to delete Hanamura.
Oh, well, you know, I like Hanamura that it's fun to walk around. When you're playing on it, fury rages within me. But it's okay. Especially on that first little point where you got the choke. Second point, of course, is a lot more open. But even then, you really only have two real modes of attack if you're the attackers. And it's usually highly contested because it's a pain in the butt to finally get the cap. They have to see what we can have happen, but again, Hanamura is just yes and no for me. But guys, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be saying all the teams' names right now as we're getting ready to go into the map whenever we're ready, to make sure we don't say them wrong, and so you know who we're talking about. We have Dad Asian, Kashushi, Ribbons, Chi, which I'm going to be calling Chi, Brown Sugar, My Ayla, Miss Ayla, Artillatron, Screwy Louie, Squid, Zero, Soups, Shiny, and Miglet Boy. Always awesome. And Simple Sample asking, where's the beard? It's right here, man. It's right here. It's formulated. I'm no longer a lumberjack. Instead, I am husband material. There's a difference.
Now, I do have to ask you that Vancouver Vixens, I think today we're going to give them the gold star for the creative names. Have you ever had Tiki Masala?
Tiki Masala? I have not.
I believe chicken masala actually has origins other than India in its inception. Now, I can't tell you where it actually comes from, but I can tell you right now, it is delicious.
I didn't know that, and now I'll put it on my to-do list before I die. Also as a bucket list.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but are you two ready to start the match?
Oh yeah, go for it. And look guys, I'm gonna go to the full screen because I'm smart. Thanks Aswell. Oh gosh. But again guys, 2 CP, meaning 2 control points captured to make it actually work. Top left in your blue is Vancouver Vixens, and top right in your red is your Boston Downsizing. Curious who's going to be on first attack. Now, you were saying that everyone doesn't like this map. Do you have any of personal reasons you don't like this one, Rambino?
I will tell you right now, it is primarily the first point. That choke, it is always the same every time I have played on it personally. It is difficult to break through because everybody feels that brute force is the key.
It is a gigantic gate. It kind of makes it really... You only have the one real option. You need full mobility from the attacking team to actually get through the small window. And even then, that's just an easy way to just shoot everything coming out of the window. And it's a smaller area. Now, this gate area does have a perfect width of which to put a Mei wall, so you can block that off pretty well. And what do you know? Vancouver has a Mei. What else do they have, Rambino?
Well, take a look at their team comp here. We get that Asian on Farah, Kasushi on Mercy, Ribbons on Moira, Chulin on Reinhardt, Brown Sugar on Zarya, and Masala on Mei.
On the attack for Boston Downsizing, Artillodron is going to be the ball. Screwy Louie on the Lucio, Squid Zero on Diva, Soups sniping in the back with Widow. Shiny is going to be healing in the back with Anna, and Miglet Boy going to be on the Genji. And they're doing a lot of poke versus rolling through, basically trying to scout what they have. No shield tank per se, trying to basically... They're probably going to look for a pick before they can actually move in, because otherwise they don't really have a lot of presence. They got to wait for Artillodron to maybe engage. Or maybe they're actually baiting out the wall. Maybe they know the wall is there. Because then you split off the rest of their team, and then they won't be able to push forward. But the Genji's poking, comes on the other side, trying to bait it. Wall comes out, hams down, gets 4 people up in the air. A lot of ult charge from there. Getting frozen, getting frozen! He does get frozen and taken out by Brown Sugar. Not able to get in and through. Soups does get a pick, so it's 5v5. Oh, no, it's back into favor of Boston as they're moving forward. The Mei wall is down. Soups getting that kill. Screwy leading at the heal. That Asian gonna get Miglet Boy and the mech destroyed. Moving the fight onto the point, trying to maybe get that tick and get them pushed back away from the choke. It is Screwy Louie and a Mini Zero here, trying to basically deal with a Farah Mercy and a very well charged Zarya. That agent finally going to get the Mini Diva of versions. Now the Artillodron has come back. Soups does take that Asian in the back, but there is a Valkyrie right now. Gets that. Kasushi does get the res on Farah, back up on the air, but it is a lot more of Boston here. Got my Miss Ayla, who actually was slept on that Sombra outside, woken up and then does get the hack onto Miglet Boy. Justice reigns from above, but Soups with that double kill is going to get him before any more damage is done. She is getting a triple kill! Screwy Louie, Soups, and Miglet Boy all go down. And now that the mines have come out from the ball and have started to zone him out, and the fight has gone off the point. But here's Chi on the ground, gets the shadow, gets 3 members on the ground, starts swinging his hammer, gets the charge kill under Artillodron. We got it. Anna, he's healing up as best he can. Ribbons is res by Kasushi. The fight is still raging, and it has not even gone to that first tick. Soups getting a lot of shots from in the back. Boston getting the shots. Ribbons is taken down. But a lot more of Vancouver has come back, even though Miss Aza has been punched in the face by Shiny. It is still 4 members of Vancouver here up in the air. On the point, the fight has been going on very well. Boston having 5 ults ready to be used. Soups again with the pick. Fantastic headshot to the Farah again. Zero sticking out Kasushi. Brown Sugar does fight back, killing Shiny, but Zero takes out Chi, and Artillodron takes down Brown Sugar, and it's finally going to be Boston's first cap to the first point on that very long, extended first fight.
Now with a quick update to the ults economy here, Boston Downsizing really didn't have to spend much to get that capture, so they have 5 ultimates ready to go. Vancouver is going to be far behind when it comes to the next team fight.
They're all kind of waiting here on the side. Maybe they're going to see how many people... There is basically... Everybody except Anna would be able to make it across this gap with their mobility. Or grappling hooks, or riding along the wall, or being a dash, or however. So it's going to be basically... Yep, that's what's going to happen. Shiny is going to be basically healing from the front, and the rest of the team is going to push forward onto the top. There is Sombra. He did scout it. Got a hack up on Widow. So they do know where they are. So half the team, half the team. Eugene No Karaoke comes forward on the Genji, looking for an Ana boost. Does get it, but gets hacked as well. Just going to be swinging his sword as best he can. Coalescence coming out on the side of Vancouver. Healing and damaging the best he can. Soups gets that kill on that Asian. But he does get res by Kasushi. Chu does get the kill on Miglet Boy. Nerf this! Finds Brown Sugar from around the corner. The charge from Chi does get Artillodron. That does kill himself. Miss Ayla. Getting the kill on Soups. Artillodron's Mines does find the Doomfist. And right now, it does look like Boston is getting this point. Might get the one tick. Oh, the monkey jumps on. No first tick for you. Still contesting 3 members of Vancouver versus 4 members. Now 3 members of Boston. Grab comes out looking for damage. Particle damage from the Winston. That Asian triple kill gets the Scurry Louie Miglet Squid down in the ground. Now Brown Sugar does fall to Artillodron, and then he's going to quickly try and get away. Now Chi does get Shiny Flare in the very end, but that's a great hold coming out from Vancouver.
Now, looking at the defense, Vancouver, they're a little sleepy, it looks like, but they are holding very strong here. And I can appreciate that their ult economy, it isn't the best, but they are carefully spending their ultimates, keeping Boston Downsizing in check.
They're doing a job now. They're going to change it up instead of splitting what they did last time. 3 to the left, 3 to the down the center. They're going to try and take the high ground. They do have the McCree. They do have more poke damage from the side. That Asian going to come in and try and get some damage. Huge healing and a grenade to keep his team alive. Monkey getting stunned and taken out by Soups. Another great hack. Meteor Strike. EMP comes out. No one's going to fall from that fist from above. Trying to find a pick. Soups is the one that's hacked. Gets the stun off right after the end. Miss Ayla is taken out by Migla Boy, winning the battle of the Sombras. Now the fight has moved on to the point. Squid Zero has taken out That Asian. Migla Boy taking out Kashushi with a punch. And Brown Sugar out of mech. They're slowly getting one tick. Vancouver might have a chance. They should be able to contest just a little bit. We got Mini Diva here on the point with ribbons on Zenyatta. Miss Ayla as well. I always want to say Asian, but I can't. That's That Asian. There's a difference. Area Denial by Archillatron. Coalescence might be able to sweep that minefield away. This might allow Vancouver to get here 3-1 on the point right now. Vancouver has reconciled, regrouped, and is able to push them off, but they did get 59.7% progression on point 2.
I would like to point out their defense is a little bit stronger on this point, mainly because the strategy they were using for the first is just working better because they are closer to spawn. It's actually working out very well for Vancouver, and it looks like Boston may not be able to take it unless they are successful in the next team fight.
That's right, only 2 minutes left. They have to get that start that entire second tick over again, but they do get credit for the 59.7, although the tick will start at 33.3. Moving up to the high ground again, Doomfist hiding in the corner, waiting for somebody to come around. Dives down, looking for a punch. Moving forward, Monkey getting a lot of damage. Gets the Angry Monkey kill onto Soups. EMP coming out from Migla Boy. That's a lot of Vancouver EMP'd. Brown Sugar is taken out of mech. No kill follow-ups on that EMP, however. Zero taking out his mech as well. We got mini divas everywhere. Archillatron moving the fight to the point. That agent is asleep on the job. Does get woken up and decides to go back to the point where he should be. Monkey dives forward, gets the bounce onto Screwy Louie, pushing him back. Vancouver, a lot more dominant here on this defensive side. Didn't even let him get through the door, more likely. Archillatron on the ball tried to get on, but it wasn't enough, and that's going to be a reset for the side of Boston.
See, their team fighting is definitely a lot cleaner in this second point than it was the first. Now, they weren't able to get too many picks first round in that first point, but they are still doing a great job of keeping Donwsizing on their toes.
Donwsizing look like they're going to be going main. A lot of the high ground being controlled by Vancouver. Sombra is going to be up there with Zenyatta, hopefully to protect him. Discord over here on Soups. Nerf this comes out into the top side, trying to find someone. They all get behind the wall very quickly. Chi does get the kill on Migla Boy in retaliation. High Noon comes out, but that Asian just stops it from happening with a punch to the face, assisted by Zenyatta. Mech does get Mini Diva. You got a Transcendence coming out from Screwy Louie. That's on the side of Boston, trying to keep Archillatron alive, who is discorded and then punched off the point. Miss Ayla does take down Screwy Louie in the end. Now, there is less than 10 seconds. They might need somebody to touch the point, but you have the Wrecking Ball. He should be able to get there in time to start it in overtime. Can he get there? Is he going to get there? Is the push forward going to matter? He does get there onto contesting the point. He is there with his Sombra, who is just recalled. There is a lot of mines on there. The ball is taken out by Chi. Soups taking Brown Sugar out of mech, but that Asian then punches Soups in the face. Trying to clear out all those mechs. There are 4 members of Boston here against 6 members of Vancouver until that Asian falls. Transcendence coming out for Vancouver's. Die as well. Does get Zero out of mech. Shiny Flare taken down by Chi. Miss Ayla going to take down Migla Boy, and Chi getting that double kill onto the mini version of Diva as well. Coalescence coming out from Vancouver. It is just the ball and Lucio here trying to stall. Screwy Louie is not going to be enough as he's getting tickled to death, and it's going to be that Kashushi that gets that last pick, but a very well defended point and a very well attacked point. It is already not going to be a tie on map number 1.
I have been noticing Vancouver, their defense is pretty solid, at least when it comes to stalling. Now, their offense is going to be a little questionable. They didn't really have any noticeable synergies, nothing really writing home about for the Vixens. However, I will say Boston Donwsizing defense definitely isn't as strong as their offense.
It did seem to go in their favor. They did get their picks on. It didn't seem like Boston was able to get a good solid push. They seemed to kind of stumble their way on to get that 1.5 or 59.7%. But we're switching sides, seeing what the difference is in the attacks and defenses of either team. And when I was saying it's not going to be a tie, what that simply means is it will not be a tie. One of the teams will get the awarding point, whether it's because Boston does a hold against Vancouver on the first point or a good hold on the second point. But unless Vancouver can get 59.8% on the second point, this game is going to go to Boston. A lot of times you'll see on this 2CP where both teams get both points, and it goes back and forth, and it goes back and forth, and then they both full hold the first point, and essentially becomes a draw because no one did better than the other. So I'm glad it's not going to be a tie, and we'll start off this series between Vancouver and Boston with one on either side. On defense for Boston, what are they looking for?
Well, I'm very interested at looking at that defensive structure here for Boston. We've got a Reinhardt, Artillotron, Screwy Louie on Zenyatta, Squid on Zarya, Soups on Mei, Shiny Flyer on Anna, and Miglet on Reaper.
Moving forward with Vancouver, looks like they're going to be doing a Symmetra play, trying to teleport maybe behind the team, as there goes the Reinhardt. He's alone right now. He gets Anna grenaded as well. And the trail not using the teleport. There we go. They get him right there. Charge is not going to be enough. Big Boy double kill onto Brown Sugar and Chi. Miss Ayla does get the kill on her Chillatron. Right now is Vancouver up 5v6 in the rest of this team fight. It is on to the point now. Maywall has split it up. Teleporter not going in her. Frozen Miss Ayla taken out by Soup. Scree Louie going to take out that Asian. And right now another Frozen is going to be allow Screely to get that double kill. So good can play with Soups onto the rest of his team, calling out the who is Frozen, and does get the kill. So that's Boston doing a hold on Vancouver's first push.
Now, I do believe there's some miscommunication there. I love seeing Symmetra, but I do see the swap already from that Asian. So I don't believe it's going to work out this time.
Now, Bingley Boy was doing a little sneaky and does get the kill on that Asian, but Miss Ayla turns around and says, I'm the better Reaper, and gets the kill on her. Maywall comes out trapping Miss Ayla and Ribbons. Ribbons going to be taken out by the charge, and Miss Ayla is going to Wraith out. They are down 2, but they're going to go ahead and use that Coalescence and push forward. Miss Ayla getting the kill on Artillotron. That's beautiful. There's a Maywall trying to stop their progression. The fantastic Anna grenade. Shiny Flare going to be the one to take out Kashushi. Shatter comes out. Three members down on the ground. A swing and a charge is going to get a double kill for Chi. Mega Boy taking out Chi, however, right afterwards, Shiny Flare getting that Anna grenade kill onto Miss Ayla. Die from Mega Boy. He's going to start cleaning up the push from Vancouver with that double kill. It is 2v1. It is just the Lucio who is going to be Anna grenade and taken out by Miglet Boy as well. Good defense from Boston, but right now Vancouver has the spawn advantage as we wait for the rest of Boston's team to get back.
Now, I would like to keep an eye on that Reinhardt. Lin doing a fantastic job. That was a nice sweep, but it needs to be followed up on.
A sleep onto that Asian in the air. Very impressive being able to get a sleep off onto somebody in the air. But Brown Sugar is going to take out Miglet Boy. He was trying for another cheeky kill. Did not have time to Wraith out, so they already up 1. Vancouver is going to be walled. It's just the Rhyme that is walled off. Going to counter charge to make sure he himself is not pinned, but he is going to be taken out by Scurry Louie. It is still 5v5 if Vancouver decides to push forward. And they are going to back up and perhaps wait for the Reinhardt. It's going to go back to a 6v6 when they decide to push forward. But on that, it looks like they were... May was trying to push forward. Soups was trying to get it, but that Asian does get the kill onto it. It is back in favor of Vancouver. They decide to push this. It'll be 6v5. A Shatter comes out. Brown Sugar and Kashushi knocked on the ground. Shiny Flare getting the kill on Brown Sugar. Mega Boy and gets Kashushi, and it's Justice says rain from above, but it's going to be shielded and kind of LOS'd. Kind of still back and forth here on the choke. Not looking too good for either one team. Mega Boy going high ground again. Maybe trying to get another flank. He is only 45% his ult. He's not trying to get it. That Asian deciding to more or less watch out for it so it doesn't happen again. Less than a minute remaining. She's got both orbs, one from each Zenyatta of either team. May comes forward, gets the wall off onto the Rhine. Zarya looking for the res. She does not get the res. Does not get res. Die comes out. Miss Ayla getting the die killed onto Soups. Boston still holding strong.
Now, if we're going to talk about their ult usage there, Boston is really in position to close this out. They still have 3 ultimates, and it looks like only a Transcendence, a Grav Bomb, and maybe an Earth Shatter for Vixens in this very last team fight.
With stalling the point tense from May, I'm going to expect a wall, a May ult, and not even let them touch the point. Mega Boy wraithing out, again, doing a little cheeky. Punch is going to push Reinhardt out of the way from Dead Asian. Here comes out the May ult. Looks like 1, 2, 3 are frozen, allowing for a charge, allowing for a cleanup. Ribbons does get soups, but it's not going to be left as Screwy Louie and Squid does get a kill onto Brown, and Archilotron knocked down by Chi. Charge out of the way. Now there is the simple team fight of Kashushi, who was on the point, faded past to try and get it overtime, but that's going to be first map going to Boston Downsizing.
Quite the interesting first game for Boston, but I think we're going to go ahead and take it to play of the game. Why don't you give it to us, Spiff?
Play of the game is going to be Shiny! I'll always love seeing me a healing play of the game. The sleep comes out. Does get the final blow onto Chi, healing, and does help stop the res coming out. Die as well. That saved the team. The Anna Grenade, huge in that, stopping that push from happening. I'm just glad it was a healer that got to play the game. You don't see that often anymore.
Well said, Spiff. Well said.
Now, what would you have said Boston did better in terms of defense than Vancouver? How to come they did? They had a similar comp when Vancouver was defending, but Boston seemed to make it work better. What did you see of difference?
So, big contrast here from what we're seeing. Boston, they were more decisive in their team fights. Now, if we went back to round 1, map 1, Vancouver just really couldn't seal the deal. Now, they were able to push Boston off quite a few times on that first point. However, it didn't work out very well, simply because the team fighting was not quick enough. Now, it's okay to drag things out sometimes if you're trying to get ult charge or you're trying to get your communications in order, but they need to commit to their kills. There weren't a significant number of plays made from the Vixens, which I'm hoping changes in map 2.
Awesome. Again, guys, it wasn't a tie, and I say that a lot actually when I'm doing comp. So I love seeing the 2PCP because that's one of the, in my opinion, one of the downsides of it is that it is a map that can actually end in a draw. And to me, that's almost like a waste of time. But we didn't have a waste of time. We had a good back and forth with Vancouver and Boston. It just seems that maybe do you think the walls were better on one side versus the other? Because the May was, again, there on both first points.
Now, I don't think I saw a blizzard from the Vixens, but I did see it come out from Boston, and that ultimate is just so frustrating to deal with because it is guaranteed crowd control.
It's guaranteed crowd control. It's guaranteed area denial. It is a beautiful, annoying ult, as you said. I'm curious. Did something else you might have noticed? What would it be? Some advice you'd give for Vancouver going forward?
Well, their tank is definitely solid. Chiulin was doing a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to say they should probably build more around their tanks. It isn't working out for them the way that they're playing right now because I feel that the aggression that they're giving it isn't anywhere near where it needs to be when they're trying to take points like that.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you feel when you saw? I wasn't actually sure when I saw Boston come out on attack, going Diva Hammond. I wasn't actually expecting that to work too well, but it did let them get the point. What were your thoughts, and what do you see? How did that actually work? I don't even see that in comp anymore.
So, at least to me, Hammond isn't your traditional tank, obviously, but while he does lack synergy with other tanks, he has a different role. He's supposed to be in there disrupting, and it was really interesting what they did with him is that he really got onto the point, popped his mines, and then after that, he really just didn't have to do anything else. He was kind of just there for side support with the Diva trying to get self-destruct kills. And
he had a lot of mines, like at least 4 that I remember, and all of them were always on point. There was never anywhere like something somewhere else. So the fact that he's getting his ult as a Hammond should tell you that he is doing his job. He's getting his hits, he's getting his damage, he's getting his disruption. He got to do the merry-go-round on the point, so hooking in the middle and then rolling around. And didn't knock anybody off, but it could have been better. Work on it on Chilotron, I'm looking for you. On terms of supports, I do like that Shiny did get play of the game, and I liked seeing all the heals coming out from Ribbons on the Moira. There was a lot of healing going out. There were orbs everywhere. I noticed them. There was very good... They know how to play their roles for Vancouver. I'm curious, but I completely agree. They need to kind of play around Chi, as I've been saying. Chiulin? I don't want to say the rest of it wrong, so I'm just abbreviating it to Chi. I don't want to get smacked upside the head. But we are awaiting for that. This is a short little break. They do get about 5 minutes between each game. The coaches get some opportunities to give feedback, say, hey guys, this is what I noticed. If you would, look at this thing. We'll try this on this point. And they're going to decide what's going to be the second map. Now, the second map pool is what again? Rambino, do you remember?
I could not tell you. But traditionally, I do believe that it is the towers. Forgive me if I forget the name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Lijiang Tower.
Okay, so they get to pick a control map, more or less. Does it have to be Lijiang? I mean, there's other great ones in there.
I don't believe so, but in following trends, usually it goes to Lijiang Tower next.
Just like on the first map, we usually always see Hanamura, and then when it's Anubis, I get to cheer because it's different. So I guess it would be 2CP, control, payload, hybrid. And then if it has to go to a map 5, go to another control. Oh, please, yes. Control map Nepal, please. I love Nepal. There's reasons behind it. Sanctum, best map. Because I like environment.
You say that, but it's more of who can use a Mei more effectively and who can stay on that point while not getting thrown off themselves.
Definitely on Shrine and Market, the Mei is an absolute boon because it closes off an entire entryway. Especially on, I think it's pretty, the Market one, the one that's got the roof on top, that one, because the one we're seeing here in the Nepal picture is Sanctum or Sanctuary, one of the two. We'll look at it when we get there, but Nepal is a control map. There are 3 different versions of it. First team to get 2 out of those 3 on a King of the Hill control the point map does get that point for the entire Nepal map. I'm excited to get into it whenever they decide to say it's good to go. It has been past 5 minutes.
Are casters ready?
Casters are super ready, Scar. Let her rip. And look, chat. See this finger? It's pushing the macro to make it switch to large screen. Because I remembered again. 2 in a row. I got it. Beautiful. I am on point here today. This is the other map of Nepal I was talking about where Mei is going to be very, very useful. Here is your point, and there's 2 main entryways, but a Mei wall will kind of block off an entire section. It's got high ground. It's got high ground above the point. It's got high ground entrances on either side. And it's got the long flanks, which you don't usually see. You might see some players when they come out of their planes, their exits, their spawns. They have 3 main ways they can go. Mostly 2, but the third one is going to be the high ground that you need to have some type of mobility. They can usually go high ground, which I usually recommend. However, when you walk through the high ground, you're essentially walking into the other team at the same time. Now, both teams do look like they have Lucio, so they will be able to get to wherever they're going faster. The other way you can go is through the main and actually start the fight on the point. Coming out from, again, Vancouver on top left, that Asian's going to be making this more of a brawl with his Ryan and Zarya, as he's going to be on the Reaper. Kushi is going to be on Moira. Ribbons back on Lucio. And they got the Ryan Zarya combo with Miss Ayla up in the air. Hopefully, curious why they have a Pharah with no direct healer support onto there, but it does look like onto the point immediately. Boston is going to take the fight there. We got the Miss Ayla coming around, trying to flank in the back. No one to really contest that except for the Diva. So Zero's going to have to be putting onto that Pharah in the air. Maywall coming out does get Brown Sugar, and Chi, who does get pinned in the side from Archilotron, Screw League, and the kill on Brown Sugar. And there goes that Asian down thanks to Archilotron's double kill. And that's going to be Boston taking it to start.
Now, it does have me worried. They were going to switch to a Sombra, but the Pharaoh was a bit last minute, so maybe they might swap that off after the barrage. But it does not shine here. Pharah is very weak on this map.
It is a little bit, not too many angles to go. Now, there is a lot of high ground, but not long sightlines, which you hope you maybe shoot her rockets onto the point. And yep, gonna go ahead and switch off right into the McCree. They're gonna try to take the high ground again, maybe get some poke damage. That Asian will be here with the team versus flanking as they go off the high ground, kind of come in the side. Boston still holding directly on to the point. Shields up. That Asian pushing forward. Maywall is not going to reach. A charge comes out. Does find Ribbons in the back. Counter charge does not get. Shatter comes out from Chi. 3 members down. Lucio All keeps him alive. And a boost keeps him alive. And a counter shatter. 3 members of Vancouver fall back on the ground. And a triple kill fire strike from Artillatron. And that's going to be Boston very dominantly with 2 ults. Holds back Vancouver.
So we are seeing a big show of force from Boston Downsizing. It really doesn't come as a surprise at this point, as they were definitely better in their team fighting capabilities than Vixen overall, but that could change depending on their next team comp.
Great shatters from both Ryans, but it was Boston that was able to hold it. They're going to decide to come push and go through the front. Dead Agent has gone on to the Brigitte. Does get frozen, it's trying to barely stay alive. Is going to be taken out with the anti-grenade fire strike for Artillatron. They're down 1, down 2. Miss Ayla gets taken out by Miglet Boy with that icicle to the head. Now they are back up 1. Vancouver is 5. Boston is 6 right now. They are going to continue. They are going to push forward with being 5. Going to try and find that pick. They need to because it's the last team fight. There is Frozen. That Asian is going to try and flank. Is not going to find it. Charge comes out. Is taken out by Chulin's Fire Strike before the pin actually finds. And they're not quite on the point. Just barely. Brown Sugar was just trying to get on the point. Did not happen. That's going to be a first of 3 maps to Boston on Nepal.
Now, I do believe Vixens was going for a 3-2-1 there, being 3 supports, 2 tanks, 1 DPS. It definitely did not work out very well, and ironically, I would argue technically, had they committed to just the Sombra, that would have been very effective based on their team capabilities.
Boston actually playing on the point the entire time, not moving forward to kind of deal with them as they pushed on, or they said, here, come in here. We'll fight you in here. See what kind of team comp they go difference. Now this is Sanctum. There is what we call environmental kills, boops, knocks offs, Orisa pulls, which you're seeing over there on the side of Boston, Artillatron. I hope to see a lot. Now Miss Ayla has decided to start with Sombra this time on the side of Vancouver. See how that makes a difference, because they are going dive tanks with Sombra and Junkrat. A lot of damage and hacking ability. Pull comes out, is going to pull Brown Sugar up in the air. Brown Sugar does take Artillatron down. That is 1 up. Now it's even down as Zero takes out that Asian. Ribbons is taken out by Miglet Boy. Back on the side favor of Boston. Brown Sugar is going to even that up back to 4 and 4. Miglet Boy taken out. Chulin does take down Scurry Louie, and right now is Vancouver on the high rise, and they are starting to capture the point. It is just Mini Diva who is then trying to fall off. Zero falls off, saying that, okay, fine, guys, you can take it. And that's Vancouver taking the point and progressing towards that 100%.
So this is already a better team comp than I would argue last round. The Junkrat is definitely nice to have in the back, and that EMP is going to synergize very nicely with that road tire. That the sound barrier is going to be fantastic for the environmental kills as well, keeping them alive. Overall, this is a pretty solid comp.
Miss Ayla is back there behind the Widow, trying to maybe get, almost getting the pick, almost getting it, is hacked, is down to 1 bar. Does get some reinforcements with the Lucio. Good reaction time. A Anna boost comes out on the mini Brown Sugar as after he's taken out of his mech. Angry Monkey on Chi does get slapped in the back. Is going to be woken up by the Farah. Fire in the hole comes around, is right in the middle, is going to be booped, killed, gets the tire and Dead Asian, but Dead Asian's trap actually gets Scurry Louie afterwards. Miglet Boy getting mini Brown Sugar after Brown Sugar had taken out on Chilotron. Double kill from Miglet, gets Chi as well, and right now it is going to be Boston cleaning up ribbons, and it's going to be their turnaround after 54% on the side of Vancouver.
Now, I'm not sure of Vixen's team fighting experience as far as a team goes. They have the comp, but now they just need the plays. If you look at the ult economy for Boston, they've been waiting patiently, and their next team fight is going to be very decisive.
Let's see how many Qs they press and how many Qs they actually needed. Monkey diving forward, trying to get on the kill on the Widow on the Sky. Sky is going to be taken out by Chi. Justice reigns from above, gets 1 kill, 2 kill before he kills himself, and kicks out Brown Sugar's mech. Good reaction time from Brown Sugar, trying to save the rest of his team. Again, that reason that Farah died is because when Diva moves forward, the rockets bounce and do splash damage on her mech and then back onto Farah. That's how Farah was able to kill herself.
It is good to see, though, they really aren't switching off their characters. They are committing, and that isn't necessarily a good or bad thing. But Vixens knows that they need those ultimates to make those plays.
Miss Ayla was in the back trying to get a pick on to Sky again. Maybe find a good hack. We've got bongos coming out on the side. Then Shadow gets the pull onto Chi, who does just barely get his jump, but it's not going to be up. EMP! Diva Bomb combo getting Screwy, Shiny, and Miglet. Artillotron falling right afterwards. Mini Squid does get Brown Sugar, but well executed combo. Again, if you have EMP, there are no shields, and when you have a Diva Bomb hoping you're behind a shield, it just goes away, and that's going to be that beautiful triple kill combo we were looking for.
Now, I'm not going to say anything immediately, but we're going to say that Diva Bomb was so good, in fact, that it actually caused them to lag out and force a game pause.
Yep, Brown Sugar, after saying, "Take this, yes!" probably in sheer elation, starts screaming at their monitor, going, "Yes!" accidentally, maybe hits a cord on the router, and just the sheer happiness coming from the person just caused the computer to short circuit slightly. So hopefully that disconnect will come back very shortly. Again, they have a set amount of time before they're allowed to, until they have to take a timeout, and then they're allowed to sub in, or they can decide to move forward with 5. I hope Brown Sugar can come back in though, because I want to see that combo again. Well executed. They didn't use anything else. It was just those 2 ults. And on the side of Boston, they did use bongos at the start, but nothing else truly committed, is from what I can tell.
Now, forgive me for saying this. Their name is Brown Sugar. I'm going to say that play was pretty sweet.
Yes. Yes. Good job. Again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out as we're waiting for the set amount of time. I believe it's like 2 to 5 minutes, somewhere in there. They're allowed to try and reconnect and get back. Otherwise, we will get the sub in or the push forward as 5v6. Now, I am hearing that I'm looking in chat. It's saying that audio is desynced for one person. Is anybody else experiencing those desyncs? Because I am not. Sometimes I don't get them right when they happen, but definitely I am getting them essentially correctly, like within 5 seconds.
So now, while we're waiting on that reconnect, I did have a very important question to ask you, Spiff.
Purple.
So, is this monastery the kind to have a gift shop? And if it did, would Zenyatta run it? And my third question is, what would they sell?
I believe it wouldn't be Zenyatta. I think he's a little bit too high up the ladder for that, but he'd be definitely the kind of guy who would come and help. I believe they would sell maybe charms, some talismans, mini bells. This is kind of a holy place. So perhaps that shop would be just on the outskirts, maybe not right on it, but still considered in it. So I would say it's kind of like maybe 2 or 3 rungs down the ladder from Zenyatta. Maybe like his, I don't know, second cousin trying to get up in the world, but definitely a Omnic who would sell it, be polite, be serene, and would all proceeds, of course, go to the upkeep of this sanctuary.
Now, I would ask you, do you think they would sell Napoleon? Is it Napoleon snow? Napoleon snow?
Napoleon ice cream?
I mean, well, would they try and sell you snow that's really just
I bet they would.
Anywhere?
They would probably sell snow. They'd sell, like, if there was some part that needed to be redone and like repurposed to make the structure sound, they would probably sell some of the chips from the stone. And they would put different, like, they'd have plaques for like this symbol or this statue was donated by Mr. So-and-so as a tax write-off that doesn't actually care about it, but I'm sure they have those. There are people who probably donate to this for the inner peace, the calm. That's what I think.
Now, when they play hide and go seek, do they say Yeti or not, here I come?
Depends if Yeti is going to be playing, and if it is wintertime and it is Winston playing and he's not in his Yeti costume, then no. But then they make Winston come over and he has to be in his Yeti skin.
Also, I will have to say, I apologize. I believe it was pronounced Miss Ayla, again, I have been picking up on that. The fonts are the same in the game, but when you're at the lobby, the capitalization does change, and I apologize.
So
So it
Miss
is Miss
Ayla.
Ayla. I do want to make that correction now, so I don't say chicken masala again, even though it is delicious.
Very true. Now Miss Ayla is doing well. Got that combo off very well. And I now want some chicken marsala.
Now, on that mention, what do you think, if Zenyatta were human, what do you think his favorite dish to cook for his brothers would be?
Curry. I know he's not Indian, but I feel like he has that inner peace. He has the dots on his head, and I'm going to say it's going to be curry. And he would do all three, he'd do all four kinds. Green, yellow, and red curry, and American curry. American curry, of course, being the least spicy of any of them because Americans are weak-stomached versus those who can take the full fury of an actual curry.
Now, I do like my spicy food, Spiff, but you have to admit there are just some spices in the world that are designed to erode and possibly destroy your intestines by burning holes in them.
And that is sometimes, for some people, that's the way they want to go. They want to go with something delicious that just burns them from the inside. That's not this guy. I want to live. So I go with the very mild American version of a good curry. Now, again, guys, it has, apologize. It was Brown Sugar who has DC'd. Their internet has seems to just cut out for whatever reason. We're going to see what they are going to decide, whatever scar the ref decides to get from them or to them, because, again, they have the option of getting in a sub or going ahead with 5.
Now, I would theorize that they actually ejected themselves from the internet.
From the internet itself. Very interesting. Now we do have Sunlight who's come in as a sub for Vancouver. Hope Brown Sugar can join us. Sky has come around from the back again. They are at 66% both sides. It is in right now. The capture point is in favor of Vancouver. Sunlight is here, so it is a full team 6v6. A lot of poking back and forth going. Got Squid back in his mech. Scurry Louie is actually taken out. I don't know who Rock's Odd is, but sorry, sir, we're in a custom game. I'm not going to assume that. That's a double kill from that Asian. Diva Bomb does find Kashushi around the corner, firing the hole from the side of Vancouver. Double kill onto Shiny and Sky. Chi does get Miglet Boy, and Vancouver holds 92% and counting. They're going to push forward, as you should, to not allow the Boston side to get any kind of overtime. Screwy Louie trying to get, does not allow that Lucio to get back. And that's going to be 1-1 on Nepal and Vancouver. Well done.
Now, I do believe finally they've awoken their gameplay strats. They have given themselves the opportunity to warm up, and now we are seeing Vancouver Vixens really put the pedal to the metal.
I also want to say, Brown Sugar, if there was any way to be DC'd, what you did before you left, well done. Hope to see you in future matches, perhaps in the next couple maps where we have Sunlight in for you. Here we are on the Shrine version of Nepal. This is, I'm glad to see our Triltron back on the Hammond. You simply hook onto the middle and start playing merry-go-round. But this is, again, all Nepal maps are essentially mirrored, so both teams have the same distance and the same things to go through. They're just simply on either side. On the side of Boston, and then I'll let Rambino tell me what Vancouver's doing. We got the ball, we got Lucio, we got Diva, we got the flanking heroes of Tracer and Genji gonna be healed up by Shiny as on the Ana. What do we have coming out from Vancouver for here?
Well, we've got a Moira, a Diva, Lucio, Pharah, Reinhardt, and a Sombra. This kind of team comp is excellent for synergies and revolving around that EMP, the Earth Shatter, the EMPs, beautiful synergies, all waiting to be lined up.
Now, Vancouver basically said, get off my point, was holding it until it unlocks. It is unlocked now. Hat goes out. Is going to be... We got slept. Is able to get out just barely. Miss Ayla gets grenaded as well. Somehow survives. Ribbons is taken out by Miglet Boy's dash. Boop kind of on the ground, taking out Dad Asian. Right now, it is Boston in favor. 6v4 right now. Kasushi is taken out of a mech thanks to Shiny. It is still neither side right now. They're stalling very well. Sunlight, Kasushi taken out. Chi is taken out. Miss Ayla is taken out. And that's going to be Boston taking this first few ticks here on the last map of Nepal.
Ult economy is pretty solid for Boston. Yet again, it just overall, it feels Boston is better at managing the economy of their ultimates, better at team fighting, but Vancouver is definitely playing better than they were last map.
Absolutely, they are moving forward. Here we go. Sunlight on point, moving forward. Miss Ayla is in the back trying to find a hacking target, trying to basically push some pressure onto Shiny. Now she does get the kill onto Shiny. Squid has taken out the kill onto Sunlight. Is 5v5. Charge comes out from Archilotron. Not going to find anyone. He has gone onto the Reinhardt instead of on the ball. Nerf this comes out. Double pulse bomb kill onto Kashushi and Dad Asian. Now Kashushi does get the Diva kill onto Screwy Louie. And Miggly Boy getting ribbons, but Chulin does get Miggly Boy. And right now it is still in favor of Boston. And it looks like they're going to hold this as Chi is taken out by Sky. Miss Ayla does get Sky, however, and is then swung to death by Archilotron's hammer.
Now, once again, we're seeing that Boston is just more decisive in their team fights now. I really want to see them get nervous, especially with that EMP coming up. That Soundberry isn't going to be too useful right this second, but if they pull off a solid Diva Bomb, they can retake the point and still salvage this.
I also want to thank Chi, who was on the main tank before, is actually on DPS, and it seems to be working just fine. Miss Ayla does get the kill on Shiny before the Lucio ult comes out. The EMP does take away Lucio's shields. Kashushi getting the kill on Archilotron. She does get the kill on Miglet. Is going in favor of Vancouver right now. They're pushing forward. They cap the point. It is 78%, but that is not the win condition, so it's going to take them at least a fight and a half to get it back and to get Boston for it, but right now it's going up to 7% for Vancouver.
Overall, I will say this. Vancouver consistently proving that they have what it takes. They just need to follow through. They have the plays right there in their back pocket. They just need to follow up on it.
Beautiful hack on to Miglet Boy. Charge is going to find ribbons and the kill on Sunlight as well. Diva Bomb getting Dead Asian. Archilotron triple kill in this encounter is going to allow Boston to move it back in their favor. 80%. She does get the kill on the Sky, but then it's a Miglet Boy punch to the face to get Farah out of the way. Now, Vancouver has one more good push. It has just gone past the 85-86% mark for the win condition. What does Vancouver need to do?
Frankly, I think it's just a matter of their team comp plays. Their team comp is fine, but they need to work together more cohesively.
Archilotron double kill Shatter onto Sky, onto Sunlight and Dead Asian. Double kill coming out from Gasushi onto Screwy and Sky, though. Justice reigns from above, gets Anna grenaded in the face, but not before getting a double kill. Miss Ayla getting the kill onto Miglet Boy, and it is just Mini Diva. Miss Ayla trying to take out Mini Diva. Come on, does not quite get it. It's just barely. It's going between people. It's going to be Zero who wins the fight between the minis. And we got a hammer coming forward. He gets back in his mech. He's still here. He's still contesting 90% in favor of Boston. Zero's going to be taken out of mech right away. Sky is taken out by Sunlight's hammer. Shatter comes out, is going to be blocked by Archilotron. Charge comes out to counter that, and a dash through is going to be a finishing off of Sunlight. She does get Scurry Louie the ace. Eugene no karaoke coming out from Miglet, trying to clear up the rest of them, and a grenade double kill onto Ribbons and that Asian right afterwards. Archilotron cleaning up Kasushi, and it's going to be Boston in a well-last fight between a Sombra and an unmech'd Diva from Squid to allow Boston to keep control of the point. They're going to take Nepal. They are up 2-0. Play of the game, Archilotron, Rambino. What do we got?
Alrighty, he's got the Earth Shatter ready, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes with the 1-man, 2-man, 3-man kill right there in his back pocket, and he goes for the 4th. Fantastic job with a 5th right there, and a glorious salute in a warrior fashion.
It only counted because he did the emote at the end. Again, I want to point out that Chi was the main tank for maps 1 and 2 on Nepal, and then because of the switch, someone has come out as a main tank. So Chi, did you feel like Chi was doing well on Farah up in the area on DPS?
Now, they weren't getting flashy, but that isn't necessarily a good indicator of whether you're playing it or not very well. The barrages that did come down were effective. They didn't get, mass team wipes, but that doesn't matter when you use an ultimate like what you're doing with that team. They're a tank. They can also DPS, which is fantastic because they can understand sometimes you don't want to pop that barrage too early out of fear of dropping it, out of fear of getting denied, and that didn't really happen. So I would say fantastic job overall.
I agree, and I loved the fact that I saw Miss Ayla in the back on Sombra. She was doing a lot of distraction, trying to get on the healers, doing a lot of hacks came out from Miss Ayla. I saw hacks on Genji, I saw hacks on Reinhardt, the EMP Diva Bomb happened on point 2. I think I'm looking forward to Vancouver possibly getting a reverse sweep because it does look like they were coming into their own on this last part of Nepal. Would you agree?
I would agree with you there. Obviously, we still have more games to see in general, and I don't know if I would count Vancouver Vixens out of the equation right now. They still have the ability to bring this to map 5.
I completely agree. Let's see if we got any changes coming in from either side. Again, Sunlight has come in for Brown Sugar. Okay, I'm going to message Rocks. I'm casting a game. Please don't invite. Thanks.
On that subject, Smith, while we're waiting for round 3 to begin, I have to ask you right now, if Zenyatta was a milk farmer and he sold
okay.
cheese, would he say, would you like cheese with that shrine?
I think he would. I'm not going to even pay attention to the beautiful pun that happened, and I'm going to say he would. He would make some beautiful cheese, and he'd make it with his shrine, and that's one of the things in the gift shop.
Well, I don't want you to Swiss out on any of the puns I'm making because I think they're pretty good.
Chat, can we get some claps in chat for Rambino?
For too many puns, you might call me a monster.
Just more claps. Fun fact, I love Munster cheese. I actually bought some sliced ones because I like putting it on my hot dogs.
Well, I do think it's cheddar than most cheeses.
I can't agree with you more. Brown Sugar has actually reconnected. I'm curious if they're going to sub them back in. It looks like they are. Sunlight, thank you for playing. Finishing up the Nepal maps, I believe you did very well. It's going to be probably Chi going back on to main tank and Brown Sugar off tank. So I already love the fact that they had flexibility over on the side of Vancouver. Now, Boston is, like as you've been pointing out, been a team a little longer. I believe they've already kind of got plays and it's working out for them. Array does a good job of making that happen. And right now they are the more veteran team, but I still see all the great mechanics coming out from Vancouver. So I'm going to be rooting for them as best I can. Yeti is actually coming in for Boston as well. See what other changes are coming in and out. But right now, who is shining for you, Rambino?
I mean, I'm definitely keeping an eye on Brown Sugar, and that I have never seen a Diva explosion so well timed that it disconnects you from the game.
Play of the game of Overwatch, not this game, not Vancouver versus Boston, but play of Overwatch.
Are casters ready?
Casters ready. Looking for some more. We're going on to map number 3. As I again have remembered to hit the enlarge the game button, it is Dorado. Now, why don't you explain Dorado for us here, Rambino?
Well, unlike the movie Road to El Dorado, this map in general is full of twists and turns. It's got corners, it's got slants, but most of all, it's got a beautiful aesthetic that really contributes to the map overall. Now, if you do look, this is one of the few maps in the game where you have a payload that is on a slanted road. And even if just briefly under that overpass, very many team fights have been shut down and created under that underpass. I will say this, the team fighting and flanking of this map is excellent for all kinds of team comps, and I'm very excited to see what happens.
I am as well. I love Dorado. It is basically in 3 sections, more or less, because once you get the payload to the first mark, you are given a point on the map, and you are given additional time to continue going. But again, the way payload maps work is going to be the attacking team must be near the payload. 1 to 3 members increases the speed of which it moves, but if any defenders are there, then it's going to stop progression. If there are no attackers on there for a certain amount of time, it'll actually start going backward, although slower. Much, much slower. Again, top left is going in your blue is going to be Vancouver Vixens. Top right in your red is Boston Downsizing. On defense for Vancouver, what do we got?
Well, for Vancouver, we got Dad Asian on Farah, Kashushi on Mercy, Ribbons on Moira, Chulin on Reinhardt, once again, Brown Sugar on that Diva, and Miss Ayla on McCree.
Moving forward for our Boston downsizing, Yeti is in for the main tank and is going to be on Reinhardt. Skrilu going to be shooting balls of fury on Zenyatta. Zero's back on that Diva. Soup's going to be sniping in the back with Shiny as well. So they've got a Widow and a the old woman on Anna. And Miglet going to be that third sniper on the team on Hanzo. Moving forward, kind of being uncontested, this is quite common until they get to that choke where they are now, and that's going to be where the defensive side of Vancouver is going to be. Chi is taken down by Scurry Louie, getting that Discord end damage with the Yeti hammer. And they're going to slightly push forward. We got regrouping happening right now from Vancouver. Miglet Boy has actually flanked all the way in the back and is starting to shoot arrows from above behind the enemy team. Asleep onto Brown Sugar is going to be trying to... Yeti gets down here, does get the fire strike onto Ribbons and the kill onto Miss Ayla as well. That's a double kill. Soups is going to get this shot. Double kill himself. Dead Asian and Kashushi is taken out. Miglet Boy getting a mini kill and a half on the Mecha Brown Sugar and Chi. But then Squid Zero takes out the mini version of Brown Sugar. And a full, almost a slow stop in the choke, but a good first push coming out from Boston on the first point.
Now, I would attribute that almost to lambs to the slaughter. Downsizing really taking no chances here. Very quick in their picks. They are keeping that payload pushed almost all the time. And now, as they are on the payload, their team fights are going to be even stronger with these next ultimates up for grabs.
Chi and Brown Sugar diving the point, gets Miglet Boy. Soups is actually taken really though. Punch in the face from Dead Asian. Does get him in the back. Yeti getting Brown Sugar out of mech. Miss Ayla does get the kill onto Screwy Louie. Coalescence has come out on the side of Vancouver to try and push him back. Double kill on Dead Asian in that encounter. Very good Doomfist coming out from that Asian, actually. I'm pleased to see this. Perhaps Retix can get some competition in that regard.
Any competition would definitely be welcome, because if anything, it makes you play better. Iron sharpens iron, as they say.
Absolutely. And they are sticking with their guns right now, except for now Soups has gone off of the Widow, has gone into a Tracer, perhaps trying to harass the back line. Got Miss Ayla, who is now asleep. Does have High Noon, and she is going to be basically deleted very quickly. Dead Asian gets the punch on the Shiny Flare as they move around the corner. Nerf this comes out on the side of Vancouver. Is going to get Soups! Even though Soups got Miss Ayla, it's not going to be enough, and they're going to start progression of the payload. Angry Monkey in the back of Vancouver. Pushing them back even more. Yeti has done his job. Basically zoning
Now,
the rest of his team, the rest of the Vancouver.
The unfortunate thing here is that McCree really doesn't shine too well here, mainly because it's difficult for him to get to high ground, and even when he does, lots of hiding spots. So that High Noon really not as effective as they'd like it to be.
High Noon for Miss Ayla on the back. Does get Miglet Boy. Now Miglet Boy does get that Asian just beforehand. Now, it did look like I love the new things, because Squid Zero actually ate up a lot more of those Deadeye kills is what I saw on that kill feed. But that was a double kill mech bomb coming out right afterwards. Getting used to this beautiful update. Again, you'll notice in the top right, which is just a little hard to see, but it is the kill feed. So whenever something's smaller, it's not your screen. It's actually just like somebody's killing a turret or getting a Diva out of mech. Or now we can see when Diva eats an ult. So you saw one kill coming out from High Noon. Did get Hanzo, but then you actually saw it had a Diva picture and then her defense matrix sign and then the High Noon symbol, meaning he ate a lot more of what could have been a much bigger High Noon. Dive onto the top right. It does get a Mei wall trying to push him back. Soups actually does get his pulse bomb eaten by Brown Sugar as well. It's a double eat on this map so far. Yeti getting the better of Chulin when being an angry monkey. Brown Sugar pushing it back. Squid out of mech and Yeti down. Scurry Louie taking him and Miss Asia. Death ball of death from Kasushi, trying to pushing back the rest of the team. Now it is just Hanzo here. They're going to regroup, and Boston's going to try and think, well, what do we need to do on this third part of Dorado?
Now, I would actually like to ask you as well, is the playstyle for Vancouver, do you think that may be enough to hold off on this third point? It did work on Hanamura, but will it work here?
I think they're holding pretty well. I do like the Mei, because if they have to push onto the payload, they can kind of stop the progression, put the Mei wall behind, and they won't be able to go anywhere. Chu does get slept after putting down his bubble. That Asian is going to get the kill on Yeti, and Chulin getting the bump onto Screwy Louie. And he is taken out finally by Squid, and Miglet Boy is taken out to Asian, evening this out to 4v4, should they decide to push forward. But it does look like Boston's going to go ahead and regroup.
I would call this the calm before the storm with an update to the alt economy. 4 ultimates ready and willing for Boston downsizing. Very dangerous, especially with 2 minutes, 45 seconds still available for that team fight.
We'll see how many more ults Brown Sugar can eat, because there are several to eat on the side of Boston. Chi does take out Miglet Boy. It's a very good first pick. That is Vancouver 6v5 in this encounter, and it does look like Boston does recognize that. And they are not pushing forward quite yet until as Yeti couldn't go forward. They're going to go down. They are moving forward. Being down 1 is just Yeti up here with Soups being backed up. A May wall comes out as May aggressively comes forward to try and get the freeze onto Yeti, which he does. He was trying to charge her way. It is not going to be enough as Ribbons does get that finishing blow. And again, Vancouver doing a very good job. Just over 2 minutes left for Boston, and Soups is trying to do some poke damage. Is not going to find anyone. Regroups with his team.
Now, it isn't terrible that Boston can't retake the payload at this moment, but with those ults on both sides charging very quickly to a 6-man for both, it really is going to come down to who has the better engage and who has the better clearing.
It does feel like Boston has been always having a DPS lag behind, trying to get some poke. You can't do that when the defending team has dive tanks and a tracer and a Mei. They will just dive you. You will not be able to get away, and it does look like Miglet Boy does get picked, but I mean, they have 5 ults, but you know what? So does Vancouver. Here comes out the Dragon Strike onto the high ground. That Asian is taken out by Yeti. Here comes out the Mei ult onto the point, basically making sure they cannot get into it. Nerf this comes out, is not going to be fighting anyone thanks to walls and shields. Chi does jump in forward. Miss Ayla does get the kill on Miglet Boy. Transcendence coming on the side of Boston, trying to keep everybody alive, maybe keep this push alive. Angry Monkey on the side of Chi. And an Ana boost onto a Yeti, who has orbs of both happiness and discord. Shatter comes out, gets 3 members down before the shield from Chi comes down. Transcendence comes out as well. The Shatter was able to find those 3 before the Monkey shield was able to fall. And right now it's Boston getting the team fight, and they're going to start pushing forward to the last point on Dorado.
It does worry me they blew all of their ultimates, because now that Rip Tire could decide whether they hold on to that team fight capability or not.
Miglet Boy does get taken down by the Rip Tire. Chu has gone on to a Hammer to try and stall some more. Screely does get a kill on Miss Ayla. Chi is taken down by Yeti. Double kill from Yeti, gets Kashushi as well. Brown Sugar is taken out of mech. Soups gets the kill on that Asian. And right now it is still in favor of Boston. Ribbons is the only one here. It is going to be taken out by a Anna Grenade. Shiny getting that double kill, and it's not, the Hammond is not going to be able to get there in time. A good push from Boston, but a very long and great hold from Vancouver. I am still surprised and shocked on that last Shatter coming out from Boston. Again, the shield was on the ground. However, the Shatter landed mere moments before it was deployed, and it was 3 on the ground, which they were allowed to then basically start sweeping up and get that full push onto that team fight, which I think that is the play that allowed Boston to get that last point.
Unfortunately for the track record for the Vixens, at least right now, their offense is definitely a lot weaker consistently, and I don't know how far they'll be able to push the payload, being that Boston is just going to be overly aggressive and take advantage of that fact.
We'll see if they got anything different. Again, they do have their Brown Sugar mama or daddy back on the team. So, and they were, again, eating 2 fantastic ults. Even though you didn't get all of Deadeye, you got a lot of it, and you ate a Tracer Pulse Bomb. Good job eating some ults, and I'm glad we can actually see and track that as casters. What do you think, Rambino?
Well, I would agree with you there, in that Brown Sugar can shine once again, and hopefully not disconnect this time.
I'm hoping so.
EMP, I want to see one of those big plays yet again. The unfortunate thing again is Diva's bomb is very difficult to get multiple kills with on this map in very specific locations, especially at the underpass, mainly because of how easy it is to hide from it.
Absolutely. On defense for Boston, what do we have, Rambino?
Well, for the defense, we've got Yeti on Reinhardt, Screw Louie on Mercy, Squid Zero on Diva, Soups on Widowmaker, Shiny on Anna, and Miglet on Farah.
They are up in the air. Miss Ayla has decided to get out of the way because she is on the Sombra, but as well for attacking Vancouver. Miss Ayla actually getting Mega Boy out of the air with a beautiful kill. Soups getting Dat Asian, who is on the Bastion. Now Brown Sugar is still on Diva. Chu is taken out by Soups, who is now basically flanking shots from headshots in the back. He was on Orisa. Yeti's going to get a double kill on Kashushi and Ribbons. That's both healers down. That's a payload halted for on the side of Boston, saying, you know, you can't even get through the choke. But they are holding where they need to. Miss Ayla is finally taken out by Miglet Boy, and it's going to be a reset for Vancouver. What do they need to change?
I would definitely think about committing to that Doomfist. I don't know if that's a good pick here, only because Junkrat shines. He does a fantastic job of those nice splash damage moves, and that Riptire really is potent when used correctly.
Chi is moving forward. Rest of his team kind of lagging behind just a little bit. Would like to use that shield, especially with Soups, who's popping off on that Widow. Mega Boy has decided to come on their side. The Widow on the side of Vancouver on Miss Ayla, who's trying to get the kill on Mega Boy. Is not going to be enough. Mega Boy does get the first kill on this encounter with Ribbons. He is going to be double tapped. Yeti does get the kill on Chi, but Miss Ayla does get the snipe onto Mega Boy. Now Chi is rezzed immediately by Kashushi, but he pays for it by Yeti swinging his hammer at him. Charge comes out from Yeti, trying to push back the rest, and it's going to be a res from Squirrely Lily onto Miglet Boy, and it's just Chi here, who does get the kill on Shiny. It is more or less in their favor, but it's still a hold from Boston.
That ult economy, once again, consistently very well kept, maintained by Boston Downsizing, doing a great job of picking and choosing very carefully when they use it.
Soup's getting a lot of free damage right now. Miss Ayla's trying to get him, as being uncontested just a little bit, is going to run away. Brown Sugar diving. Justice reigns from above, does get that Asian, is then swung to death by Chi. 1-1. Nerf this coming on the side of the Boston. Round the corner. Shatter as well. Does get Chi on the ground. Is going to be followed up by a charge and a grenade and a swing. This is going to be enough for Yeti to take him out. Now Miglet Boy is rezzed once again by Screwy Louie. Miss Ayla is on. It's trying to snipe basically close to the point. Does get up on the air high ground, but it's going to be a Miglet Boy punch to the face. And another hold from Boston. Vancouver, we believe in you.
So, looking at the way Vancouver has decidedly formed their team comp, they continuously keep switching. That isn't good. Their damage is also lacking. It really is not adding up to be a very successful or lucrative idea on behalf of them.
They're doing a 3-2-1, 3 tanks, 2 healers, 1 DPS, hoping that McCree can be maybe more bulky. But Soups is going to take out Miss Asia right away. Shatter's not going to be able to follow up upon Miglet Boy getting Chi. Soups getting double kill on the Ribbons and Kashushi, both healers down again. And Squid Zero is going to take out that Asian. It's just, they're pushing them back as they come forward. And Brown
Now,
Sugar
the
is
question
taking
I
a
have
nap.
for you is,
What is your question, my good sir?
can Boston Downsizing seal the deal here, or do you think they're going to get swept off with that Diva Bomb? Last attempt here.
Diva Bomb, there is just the shield. If they're playing in the open like they are right now, they're going to have to use that payload as best they can. But they do have, Boston does have eyes. Miglet Boy up in the air. Diva is back in mech. Yeti is stunned. Shatter comes out. That's going to find 2 members on the ground, and a charge comes in their way. Miglet Boy just tried to justice from above. That Asian who's on the Brigitte is taken down. Chi as well. Brown Trigger's hit out of mech. Not in position to use that ult. In a better positioning, Shiny getting the grenade kill onto Miss Ayla, and Squid boops Brown Sugar into the face. Yeti getting Ribbons. Nerf this comes out from the side of Boston, but that's going to be Boston Downsizing, taking the map again 3-0.
And let's go and take it to play of the game here, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by Yeti and as Reinhardt. The Earth Shatter has just been used. He has set that up for a mech kill. Can he get the single? There's the single. Can he get the double? There he goes. How about the 3-man? There he goes. One after the other. He's really hammered down that justice.
Definitely hammered down now. That's going to be a beautiful play of the game. And you have picked it out pretty well, is what I can figure, is that Vancouver has a very, very solid defense. Now they got pushed through. But their defense, from what I can tell, works well. Their attack, they seem to kind of stutter. They commit to one thing, they ram their head against it once or twice, it doesn't break, and then they switch. Which is, just by saying that, is fine. Once or twice, it's not working, you switch. Do you think they just couldn't find the right combination, or what do you think would have worked better? Was it a hero composition? Was it a switching too fast, not fast enough? What was your opinion?
I'm gonna have to say that overall, it has to be just about everything, and that isn't working for them. Their offense is just not there, and that you cannot afford to keep switching, especially when you are losing team fights. Now, you might be saying, but then how am I supposed to beat them if I can't switch? Well, ideally, you want to try and get those ults up, because arguably, ultimates are more important than switching off to the correct character, because of the reason that Power Spike exists is to give the team that uses them an advantage over the other. Now, if you take that equation away and you're actually just starting fresh with a new character that has no real tools in their kit to prevent pushes like Boston Downsizing keeps doing aggressively, you really can't get anywhere.
One thing I was noticing as Chi was moving up with the shield from Reinhardt is a wonderful tool to be used, especially when you're going against an enemy Widow. If Reinhardt waits more or less for the Widow, which Soups was popping off, he was getting some great shots up on the high ground. I would have liked to see Vancouver use the shield to pressure Widow, either kill him or push him off, or just to pressure him from being up in the open, and that would allow them to come around the corner. But what I saw was Chi using his shield, and the rest of his team was just kind of like stretched out from where the payload was, almost halfway back to spawn. In my opinion, they should have grouped up just a little bit more to allow the shield to get more value against the Pharah in the air and the sniper on the high ground.
I think the best thing I can say about Vixens is that all their mechanics are there at the base level.
Absolutely.
Now, I want them to build on it. They are sportsmanlike, which I can definitely appreciate. They are determined to improve, and I definitely see that. They are not the same team. Again, I've said this many times. You see the same team play from map 1 to map 4. It's a different team half the time, because they're realizing we got to step up our game, something isn't working, and sometimes you see some really interesting and almost overwhelming changes in their play styles that really does prove that anybody is able to play Overwatch at a professional level if they just work on their mechanics and their gameplay.
And again, I believe the mechanics on both sides are pretty even. It might be so far going in the favor of Boston, but Vancouver's not a bad team. They're going to get their team play together, and maybe we'll see it here on map 4. Map 4 again is a hybrid map. Hybrid map is essentially you capture the point, capture the payload, and then you move it forward. And it's usually Eichenwald, and I think it will be based on what I believe Vancouver. No, they got to pick maps 1 and 3, so I believe it's going to be Boston picking this one. What are the other hybrid maps again? I only ever see Eichenwald.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. King Row. King's Row.
King's Row. I was watching Jane play with the pro pugs last night as I was falling asleep, and it was beautiful. So I kind of hope it's King's Row, because in my opinion, between the two, I like King's Row more as a map, but visually I like Eichenwald. How about you, Rambino?
I think Eichenwald's design is really interesting. It gives you a little bit of everything. You've got the nice up slant to push a payload. You've got the corners, the flanking routes. It's overall, in my opinion, I think it's a really well-designed map. That isn't to say that Eichenwald has its flaws, because that initial choke it's not as bad as Hanamura, but it can be overcome several ways. You can get a diva to go over with a Pharah to break the choke, force them off the point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can get creative. I mean, I've seen Shanghai Staggered in this community. They went all the way around and behind, and then dropped onto the point. And not only is that creative, that just says we don't necessarily have to play on the map to flank. We can actually just make our own path and be creative about it, which is exactly what you should be doing when you're playing competitively.
I want to see more Symmetra. I want to see it. Now, again,
definitely.
There's some PTR patch notes that I kind of want to touch on, because I am hoping to see more Reaper play. I'm hoping to see less Goats. And I'm hoping to see just less Brigitte. I say that mainly because I want to say how much I love this game. It's evolving. It's constantly changing. Everyone's going to rage no matter what. But Rambino, I want to hear your thoughts on, do you feel that the changes that are coming on PTR, if they go final, do you think that's going to affect how these teams are currently playing?
Well, being that the GOATS meta is really defining the way that people are playing Overwatch, I'd have to say yes. Now, that isn't to say that it is the right change to make, but everybody can agree with me here. GOATS is not fun to play against. It is frustrating. It is just a matter of who is tankier and who can outlast, which shouldn't be what Overwatch is. It should be dynamic gameplay, continuously changing up strategies. You want to keep the game fun without making tanks so oppressive. Now, buffing Reaper isn't necessarily going to fix all of that. And making armor a little weaker isn't necessarily going to fix everything. But it's a good step in the right direction, I hope. And it breaks my heart. I love Brigitte. I love her kit. I love the way she works. But if she needs to change, I hope they shift some of her power back to the shield bash. Maybe make her kit a little different. I'm okay with that. I just want everybody to know that just because she's a little easier to play doesn't mean that she's going to be a cornerstone in every team fight because of the GOATS meta right now.
I completely agree. She's fine just with your fighting with your brawling tanks. A Ryan Zarya with a Brig is wonderful. The Zarya keeps track of the Reinhardt whenever he charges. The Brigitte is moving forward with the Zarya because, again, both of them don't have a lot of mobility. So it doesn't need to have the other tank in the other side. It's fine. Now, I do have chat open just a little bit, but I missed a lot of that. Are we doing a map 4? I have back and forth here in chat in the game.
Traditionally, I do believe it is going to be a 4 map game. It will always be 4 maps unless it is 2-2, and then in that case it will be a map 5.
Mm-hmm.
But for all intents and purposes, that we should go to map 4.
I would agree. I want to see some more evolution of Vancouver Vixens. I love seeing people get better. Again, that's what the Overwatch Community Cup is for. It's for people who want to get better in a more structured setting versus I'm gonna get better at solo queue and now I'm ready for the owls. No, you're not. Solo queue dominance is usually because you're carried or you yell at your team to carry you. And both times it's not really indicative of being a pro player.
Absolutely, I would agree with you there.
You can have the best Widow in the world who is popping off, and they can carry games, but if the rest of the team is bad and the Widow is being a jerk, they're going to avoid you. I would. Again,
now,
go ahead.
My next question for you is, MVP, do we have one?
For right now, I could probably give you one on each side. I want to save it for the end, but I have MVPs on either side. Unless it is the end, because again, I closed out the chat in Overwatch just in case there's words that could be read on stream. But again, guys, thank you so much for being here so far. We're hoping to go to a map 4, Vancouver Vixens versus Boston Downsizing. Boston is up right now in 3-0. C-Man does look like he's subbing in, so perhaps we are going. So Make the Boy has stepped out. Thank you, Make the Boy. Genji player, even though you were hacked a lot by Miss Ayla. Is there a consensus, Scar?
Yes, we are going to map 4.
Yes, map 4. That's what I want to hear. Now, is it? I believe Boston picks that. Is that right? I need to remember my rules. So I think it's
Boston does pick. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Again, guys, there's a lot of beautiful rules that are now implemented into the OCC. The home team on the left, which in this case is Vancouver Vixens, they pick maps 1 and 3, and Boston, who is on the visitor side, picks maps 2 and 4. So Boston's going to be picking Kings Row, as we were talking about it.
Caster's ready?
Caster's super ready. Go for it. And look, guys, 4 for 4. I'm remembering to make it big. Ooh. Kings Row again is your hybrid map, and we are actually in London. Whee! city, London, and it is taken over by basically the Omnics. Well, actually, what is the lore of King's Row? Do you know, Rambino?
I do, as a matter of fact. It is where Widowmaker shot the brother of Zenyatta, I do believe. And that's
Mundata, I think his name was?
Mundata. Yes, there you go. I apologize. And there is an animated short with Tracer and Widowmaker duking it out, trying to prevent the death of that VIP, and he does end up going down. And that is why the statue is there in remembrance.
And unfortunately, even though I guess he's a robot, and they must have hit his brain core, because in my head, if you're a robot and you're shot, don't you have like a backup somewhere?
Well, that is a fantastic question, and unfortunately, I do believe they act like individual sentient AIs.
Oh, okay. So they don't want to back up them own selves. Correct. Now, the only reason I actually remember the name Mundata is because I play Zenyatta a lot, and there's a lot of lore in the back and forth when you are waiting for the game to start between characters. And I believe Zenyatta is talking to, I forget, actually, now I can't remember who he's talking to, but he's talking to either, I feel, May or Tracer. He's saying, yes, my brother Mundata was wonderful. And I remember that phrase because I am most definitely. Oh gosh, who blew up?
For those of you that are a bit older, you may remember there actually is an album, I believe, from Duran Duran. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it is not Duran Duran, it is somebody. They do have an album called Zenyatta Mundata.
That sounds either very punny or perfect.
I believe that's actually possibly where they could have gotten the inspiration for the names. I could be mistaken.
And Sunlight has come in not for brown sugar, but instead for chi. So we're going to get some more game time for Sunlight. Again, we are on King's Row. It is your hybrid map. As the map starts to unlock in 10 seconds. The goal, again, for the attackers, to push through the choke. They have two modes of attack. They can go right through the middle, which, again, this is a wonderful choke for the defenders to which to spam. Or they can go through the theater. The theater allows them to keep cover, maybe against some snipers, some spam, and they can jump out and come to the side. They get complete cover because of the statue from the point. They can decide to go far right to continue to take the high ground, or they can jump down and move forward. Once they actually get to this point, if they come through the front, they can go right to the point, or they can go through the hotel. Now, the hotel, especially when Dad Asian is on a Junkrat, it's going to be very dangerous. But again, this is very spam heavy. I like the different modes of attack, but if I wouldn't actually like to see the defenders here were up on the choke. I want to see them actually back up because they can get rolled over. But on defenders, Rambino, mark us off.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is now map 4 of 4 for Vancouver Vixens versus Boston Downsizing. For the defenders, we've got the Vancouver Vixens, Dad Asian on Junkrat, Kasushi on Mercy, Ribbons on Zenyatta, Sunlight on Reinhardt, Brown Sugar on Zarya, and Miss Ayla on Hanzo.
Screwy Louie is on Boston Downsizing, getting a double kill on a Sunlight and Dad Asian. He is on the Zarya. They are really, really low, but they're going to go ahead and, with that first push, knock them out. Now, it is more or less a meme build. It is 5 tanks and a Lucio. Those tanks are Reinhardt, Zarya, Diva, the Hamster, and a Roadhog. Now there is still a lot of damage on the side of Vancouver with that Hanzo and Junkrat, and they did get some picks, but once it broke up, they just started rolling over. They pushed the WM1 strat. Lucio ult comes out. Shatter is going to be blocked by Sunlight. Counter charge is not going to be enough, but Screwy Louie getting Ribbons, and Sunlight is taken out by Seaman. Yet he does get the Fire Strike kill onto that Asian. They are pushed very, very far forward. I would actually like to see Vancouver make changes to make it happen. I like Miss Ayla on the Hanzo because it can do a lot of damage, especially on the high ground. But what else would you like to see them maybe change?
Personally, I just want to see Brown Sugar and Miss Ayla work together for that beautiful Dragon Spirit combination ult. I love it.
Absolutely. Here comes out the first Dragon. Again, that builds up a lot faster. Yet he doesn't get on Brown Sugar. Soups is actually taken out by the Asian who has gone onto the Symmetra. I like Symmetric kill. Here comes out the grab on the side of Boston. Charge comes out. Is actually going to miss both of them because Seaman takes him out with a whole hog. Miss Ayla does actually fight Seaman back on the Reaper. Kushi is taken out by... Kashushi is taken out by Yeti's hammer. Now, they already haven't even gotten that second point yet because they are being held back more or less by... I mean, it's still 4 tanks in it. Lucio. Yeti gets the Fire Strike kill onto Miss Ayla. They're going to regroup, and they're coming forward. They're going to stick with the regular comp. I do like the... Again, I love Zenyatta. If they can get some focus on whoever's Discord, I believe they're going to be just fine. But they have decided to go with their own 3-tank build, going with 2 healers instead of the 1 that's on their side. Miss Ayla's coming to the side. Ribbons is taken out by Scree Louie. And as Shatter comes out, 2 members down. Is starting to be kind of pushed together. Another grab comes out on the side of Boston. A long charge from Yeti is going to get Sunlight into the wall. Scree Louie taking out Miss Asia. And Zero is taking Asian's mech out of the way. Shiny Flare does boop Asian into oblivion. Kashushi actually whips out her pistol. Battle Mercy. And kills Yeti. And they are actually fought back all the way to spawn, being very rude, in my opinion.
With a quick update to the alt economy, we have only 1, but it may not even be necessary because, again, another dominant display from Boston. They are ready and willing to just continue the onslaught.
Nerf this comes out, actually gets a double kill onto Ribbons and Miss Ayla. They weren't sure where it was going to land and where their cover could be, and that's going to be Shiny Flare, who also gets that Asian Scree Louie getting to the better of the other Zarya player. Brown Trigger goes down. Shatter is coming out, does get 2 members on the ground, but Yeti does come forward and knocks Sunlight down. Transcendence comes out to try and stall the point just a little more, keep everyone alive, because Shushi in the background behind the point, trying to get some damage in, trying to keep everyone alive. Shiny Flare takes him down. Yeti can double kill on Miss Ayla and Ribbons. A grab Diva Bomb combo gets a double kill. Scree Louie and Seaman do fall. Brown Trigger is here in full force. Is going to be taken down by Shiny Flare. They're still stalling as that Asian right now here on with Sunlight. Charge comes out. It's not going to find anyone from either Reinhardt. Another Lucio ult on the side of Boston. We're playing the merry-go-round right now on the side of Boston. Shatter comes down. 3 members on the ground. Booped around. Miss Ayla is taken out by the Hammond. Charge not going to find anyone, but Yeti wins the Reinhardt fight against Sunlight one more time. Area denial here on the left side of the point. Brown Trigger is going to have to go all the way around, but Asian is on the point with his Ribbons, and is not going to be taken out, unfortunately, by the mines. Yeti going to take out Ribbons. A very good stall based on how far they were going, so Vancouver can get those decent defenses up when they are able to kind of get on here, stall the point. Miss Ayla was going for that flank. It was not going to be enough. What are you thinking so far, Rambino?
Well, it really pains me to say this, but honestly, I just want to see Vancouver come back from the dead here and just play their hearts out. I know it is a 0-3 right now, but I will say this. There is so much potential to be had in a team that is fresh, that is willing to learn from their mistakes. And I have never seen, once again, I will say this, that Diva Bomb will go down in my memory banks.
It was beautiful.
I have never seen, simply because it was so good, it de-seed somebody, and I don't think we'll ever see that again.
Absolutely. I just want you guys to know in chat. I know the owner of the OWCC Twitch channel, and if you keep doing those types of things, you're not going to be welcome here. Keep that in mind, please. Keep chat a little more civil, a little more up and up, a little more professional and sportsmanlike. Thank you, guys. But here we're going to switching up, and it does seem that we're going to have a back and forth. More Boston is more or less memeing, but that doesn't mean that Vixens can't learn from it and can't continue to get better, because they're going to stick with, they're not going to counter memes with memes, because on the side of Boston there are 5 healers and 1 tank. I would love to see Vixens kind of stop Boston from doing what they're doing, which I believe is more or less a little rude. If not, if they're still playing a little more professionally, that's fine. But I want to see Vancouver come forward, and they are going to come forward with a Sombra version of Goats. Instead of that 3rd healer being the Sombra, it's the 3rd tank going to be that Sombra. So they have triple heals with the Reinhardt and the Diva. Miss Ayla's already scouting ahead, giving some feedback, letting them know what's what. And soon, I believe they're just going to move forward and dive.
Now, another question I have for you personally, Spiff, is what do you think of the choke on this map? It's a little bit more open, more flank routes, but is it really your kind of cup of tea?
I like this choke because once you come into the choke, you have immediate cover with the statue. Shatter already from Yeti. Knocks 3 members on the ground. The anti-grenade is going to be enough to sweep them up with a hammer. Scree Louie getting Ribbons as well. Hold from Boston. But in terms of this choke, I like the choke again, because right when you come in, you get immediate cover with the entire statue. You can decide to go right, you can decide to go through the hotel, you can decide to go through the point. I would never actually recommend going straight to the point. I'd always want to use the side route of either using the statue to come to the right side or actually go up and take the high ground, depending on how slow you want to go. Because if you're in the high ground, you more or less have advantage. You have more cover than the defenders. Miss Ailey, who is on the Pharah, does get the kill on the Soups. And Shiny is maybe trying to get the res. Is not going to be enough, but there's a Pharah Mercy up in the air, more or less destroying. Yeti is down, and now it is against 4 more healers. Rez actually is trying to come out, but that Asian does stop Shiny from getting it. Miss Ayla getting 0, and it's going to be Vancouver taking this first point as Miss Ayla up in the air. Justice is raining from above with that beautiful pocket from Kasushi.
Now, it does make me happy we're seeing a Bastion. I personally know just how great Bastion can be when he's played around a team, but I don't know if it's the right choice. I don't know if it ever is. You know, even with a pirate ship, it's fun, but you know, I have to say that Bastion in general, on paper, he's better than most EPS. He can heal himself. He's got a higher ammo count than Soldier, and I do believe he doesn't suffer from the same damage drop-offs anymore.
I believe his main change is when he's in turret mode. I don't remember those fall-offs being a change. But he has the same fall-off, I believe, as the McCree and the Soldier. I believe that all happened with all the ranged pellet DPS, as he is. Justice running from above. Now, that Asian did get a double kill. It's taken up by Scurry Louie. But it does look like Boston is going no healer, 6 tanks. And right now they're suffering for it, because the only one that can actually heal himself is Scurry Louie. When he has no shields, he'll back up, get his shields to recharge, and the Hog being able to heal himself with the breather. And there is going to be a DC on the side of Boston.
That is a perfect way to segue into my next question for you, Spiff.
Go for it.
Who is most likely to go to Hawaii for a vacation time? Which Overwatch hero?
Soldier. He once he actually has to take retirement, because I know he doesn't want to be, he'll essentially be able to go to Hawaii. And I think he needs to take it. He needs to go with, you know, maybe not his full rifle, but maybe just like his side gun so he can feel like a soldier. But I believe he would enjoy it and need it for that relaxation and retirement. How about you?
Well, I'm going to have to say probably Zenyatta. You know, I could see him. He could bring Genji around, and he says, "Look at all this beautiful sun and ocean, and great place for meditation."
I believe any of the Overwatch heroes would love to go to Hawaii, even May. But there was a little bit of a DC. It looks like Mega Boy has come in. He was subbed out earlier, but he is back in, and right now it is pushing forward. C-Man has gone on to the DPS, and it does look like they are going 2-2-2, back to where they belong, on the side of Boston, realizing that their shenanigans is not going to work very well on defense, as there is a Bastion. Again, Bastion is actually a very, very good deterrent to Goats, because again, he can be if he's on the high ground, and the Goats can't get to him, he's just going to do so much damage, especially with his tighter spray when he's doing his turret mode. That was his last big change. He can take down a lot of shields. It's going to be taken down by Soups, however, who is on that Ash. Great Ana grenade.
I think the biggest irony, though, of Bastion is that technically, on paper, in any team-based game, you aren't supposed to focus tanks first, and yet Bastion shines when he does that.
Absolutely. He shreds that shields. He shreds the people who are big targets and easy to get a lot of damage on there, because he's just wrecking through Boston right now. There was a wonderful shatter with a tank follow-up from that Asian. Now, it wasn't Migly Boy, it was C-Man was doing some great distraction in the backline of Vancouver, but they're moving forward even faster than Boston did. Well, Boston has now moved on forward to contest. Yeti here, Soups here. Squid Zero taken directly out of mech and just flying in the air. Miss Ayla gonna get the double kill on the Yeti and Squid. Sunlight getting Soups. Eugene no karaoke. It's gonna be Justice raining from above. Miss Ayla from high in the air. Triple kill onto Boston's face. And that's gonna be a cap. Is it faster than Boston? I think it was actually a little bit faster. What was that time?
I believe it was just a few. Actually,
exact same time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
You don't get more even than that. I'm curious if, okay, now they're going to be doing, it's, again, what happens when you have gotten to the end is both teams get another go at it. They have exactly as much time as they have. Both teams having the exact same amount of time. So I love that Vancouver is playing to win, despite what I consider to be rude. But they are playing, and they are, I believe they're getting some great picks, some great counter strategies to what Boston's throwing at them. What would be your opinion on what Boston's doing right now?
It really pains me to say this, but if Vancouver had played like this the entire time, it wouldn't, no question. Again, like I say this a lot, but if they played the way they are now back then, Vancouver would just steamroll them. That is exactly what I like to see.
It was
everything
beautiful
was smooth.
plays.
I can guarantee you the communications were definitely more concentrated, more focused, more relaxed, and that's exactly what you need to be when you are fighting in a high stress environment like this.
On defense for Vancouver, Rambino, mark us off.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, for defense here, we have, once again, the Vixens. We've got Dad Asian on Symmetra, Kasushi on Mercy Ribbons, on Moira Sunlight, on Reinhardt Brown Sugar, on Zarya and Miss Ayla on Farah.
Miss Ayla actually going to pick in the Seaman, who was on the Hanzo Mega Boy on Brigitte Soupson's Widow. That Asian actually takes out Yeti. Mega Boy does take him back in return, but is still right now in favor of Boston as they're moving forward. So there is some reses on the side, but Soups on the Widow, Zero going to be on the Diva. Screwy Louie with some balls of healing or damage, and Yeti, of course, on the Reinhardt. The Fair Mercy in the air. Seaman does get the pick onto Miss Ayla and immediately moves forward to try and stop the res. The res does happen, but he pays for it with that Storm Arrow. Shattered on the ground gets that 2 members on the side of Boston on the ground. Not enough damage. Follow-up from Sunlight and the rest of his team. But it's right now it's Seaman getting the 3K on this encounter, and it's going to let Boston get the push onto it with 2 minutes and 36 seconds left.
Now, Boston does have the advantage here. They have captured the first point, but looking at that team comp, it really isn't going to be much value defending a payload. They'd have to pay extra attention to the front line of Vancouver. They're going to have to play far more aggressively than they're used to.
Now the shatter from Yeti was blocked, not value. Justice raining from above Miss Asia. Miss Ayla does get the kill on Seaman, but not before Seaman gets the kill on her. Again, there's travel time between the arrow and actually hitting. But it does look like they are pushing forward quite aggressively. Mega Boy is having a back and forth with Brown Sugar. Soups does get the pick onto Sunlight. And Mega Boy is going to get discorded and is going to back up.
Now, a quick question to you. That this road mirrors a little bit of Dorado. This feels a bit like Dorado in some regards. Do you think that this map is a good map?
I like this map because of the different types you see. High ground, pretty dominant on the first one. Second one, you'd have flanking routes. Third one, you have high ground. And if you're sneaky and you have mobility, you can also flank. So I like the diversity. I like the flow of it. So I do like King's Road. I think it's a good map. What about you, Rambino? You asked the question as if you don't like it.
Well, I do. My only issue with it is that as you're getting closer to the second checkpoint, it really gets strange. It's more of a risky kind of push, and that there are just so many different ways to shut down pushes. I don't necessarily like that, only because if you work that hard to get it to the second point, I think you should be allowed to get that checkpoint. It's in a weird place, in my opinion.
I can agree with that. Shatter comes out, 2 members on the ground, followed up by the rest of his team. Is not actually going to get a kill. Great support to keep them alive. Coalescence on both sides. Got a rally coming up from Migla Boy. And that Asian is on the point using Die. Is immediately stunned out of it. Very telegraphed. Easy to find out and be able to stop that from happening. Seaman getting the kill on Kashushi right after. Nerf this comes from downtown behind Reinhardt. Not able to time to turn around. Does take out Sunlight. Soup is on the high ground, pushing forward. 1 member on the team from Boston pushing the payload as the rest of the team comes forward. Ribbons is using Transcendence. Keep the rest of his team alive. A charge from that Asian does punch Yeti into the ground, and both of them fall and stunned. Kashushi getting the kill on Miglet Boy. Yeti is actually really low and is anti-ninated right now. Is going to be able to survive. Seaman getting a kill on that Asian. Another shatter comes down and charged upon by Sunlight. Soup's getting Miss Ayla. A shatter is going to only get Brown Sugar and immediately shielded by Sunlight. Beautiful backup from our Reinhardt to Zarya. Screwy Louie does take out Ribbons from the end of his Coalescence. Both Reinhardts charge into each other. That agent just punched Screwy into the face. Mega Boy actually booping Brown Trigger into oblivion. Yeti getting the better of the Reinhardt Sunlight, and Soup's getting another pick on Dead Asian. Kashushi has fallen down to 0. And they are pushing forward. They are in overtime right now, and it's going to slowly move forward. Squid Zero is hacked right now. Soup's walls are up, so they know exactly where they're coming. And in overtime, they do get it all the way to the end.
And a fantastic push from Boston. But if Vancouver plays just like they did in that last round, I'm looking forward to their first objective take. And that if it's clean, then they've got the rest in the bag. We could technically treat this as a map 5 because this is exactly what map 5 would have been, just playing another round of whatever objective-based map they want to do.
I completely agree. I'm looking forward to seeing Vancouver bring out that same solid team play as they came out of the spawn last time. Got it in the first fight and a half, and very smooth transition from getting the payload all the way to the end. We're going to see if Boston's going to recognize this and maybe go with something a little more. They have 2 healers now, so it's 4 tanks, 2 heals. I would love to see Vancouver stick with what I believe they had and what worked, which was a fair up in the air. He wasn't getting contested too much, and it was doing a Bastion was well placed and well aimed, because it's, you know, Bastion does a lot of damage and he's stationary, but if he's not aiming well, it's not going to work. So coming out from defense, Rambino again, Marcus off for what is Boston thinking?
Alrighty, for the defense, we've got Yeti on Reinhardt, Screwy Louie on Moira, Diva, Squid Zero, Soups on Zarya, Miglet on Lucio, and Seaman 11 on a Roadhog.
And they're all sitting sneakily inside the hotel. For Vancouver's attack of Ryan, Zarya, Sunlight, and Brown Sugar, Miss Ayla is going to be on your Diva, and they're running the regular ghost. That Asian is going to be doved upon and going to be taken out by Yeti, but Kashushi and Ribbons also healing on Moira and Lucio. Mega Boy is taken out by Sunlight. Squid Zero is taken out by... does take out Sunlight himself. Right afterwards, Charge does find the pin onto Ribbons. Miss Ayla is going to be taken out of mech, then swung to death with a hammer. Double kill for Yeti. Soups does get Kashushi, and it's going to be a pushback. Vancouver's going to regroup and see what they need to do to change, because that agent has actually switched off already. They switched off of goats immediately, realizing it's not going to be enough. Miss Ayla going to the air, and that Asian going to be punching people in the faces. No, it's going to be shooting bombs from everywhere.
Now, with an alt economy update, Boston is up, but it is still early. They have 2 minutes, 40 seconds to make some plays. That Pharah could prove very useful if placed correctly with that Graviton Surge.
And a very good boop as they were getting out of the hotel, recognizing where they were. They heard Boston did here. We have a flanking Seaman, flanking Squid. Shatter comes out, 2 members down on the ground. Sunlight's taken down, Brown Sugar is taken out by the Fire Strike, and then a swing does get that Asian. Yeti triple kill with Ribbons right after that. Now it's just fair up in the air. Kashushi was going to possibly go for the res, dashing all the way around. Miss Ayla trying to get a lot of ultra, it's 52%. Kashushi is actually taken out by Seaman. And then it's going to be Miss Ayla is taken out by Screwy towards the end. 2 minutes left. I believe Vancouver can do it. They're getting the disruption. They're getting some damage in there. They just don't have any ults on their table right now.
So another question I have, I know I've asked you a million of them already, but is it wise to guard the choke? Even if you're up in ultimates, is it wise to guard it with a Reinhardt shield?
I completely think not. His shield is basically can be picked off from the spawn and go down before anything happens. Kashushi is going to be taken out by the Diva Bomb, unfortunately. Soups does get Miss Ayla. That's 2 down in favor of Boston. It does go back and forth. 5v3 right now. So they're going to push forward and back into the spawn, and the tire did get value, but it was not enough. But it was a very quick tire more than anything.
Now, when we talk about a good tank and a bad tank, I think one of the biggest mistakes newer tanks make is they want to keep their shield up more often than dealing damage, and there's always exceptions to the rule, but I feel that every time you put your shield up for no reason, it really isn't going to be there when you need it.
2 kills already in favor of Vancouver. Now, Miss Ayla does rain for that. And just all the grabs, all the shatters just start falling on the ground. Miss Ayla is res right away. That Asian is taken out by a whole hog from Seaman. Coalescence comes out as well, but it's still Fair Mercy up in the air. They have 40 seconds left. Vancouver's trying to stay alive. It is 3 members here of Boston. Squid Zero and Mega Boy are back in here, so it's 5 of Boston, waiting for the Zarya to come and join them. Got a Valkyrie coming out, Yeti getting the better of Sunlight, Miss Ayla getting Miglet Boy in the air. Dead Asian going to take down Screely with the tire. Both healers down on Boston's side. Seaman getting the kill on Miss Ayla again from up in the air, just shooting his right clicks as fast as he can. Soups punching Ribbons to death. Yeti getting his Asian. Kusushi getting the res on Miss Ayla again. Brown Sugar does get out of mech of 0 and does get the kill on Yeti. They are contesting. A hook from Seaman gets Kusushi. A shatter gets Seaman on the ground. No charge follow-up. Coalescence on the side of Boston. It is just Ryan Zarya. Coalescence actually takes down the Zarya and the Reinhardt. It's going to be a pushback, and it's going to be Boston taking King's Row. They now get it. They take this matchup between the Vancouver Vixens and themselves. 4 to Boston, 0 to Vancouver.
And today's play of the game brought to you by Miss Ayla as Farah. What are we going to see here, folks? The barrage is not ready, but I have a sneaking suspicion it will be soon. 87% and counting. Here we go. That's a single onto the double and the triple. There's Graviton Surge, and there it goes. The barrage comes down, and it rains from above for a triple kill. Fantastic. Absolutely flawless performance on behalf of Vancouver Vixens. Congratulations on your very sportsmanlike attitude and that very, very well-earned fight to the end.
Absolutely. Vancouver, again, I echo that. Great sportsmanship. I believe they went through what the OCC is trying to do and get improvement. Fair Mercy, great combo up in the air. Loved seeing they were basically uncontested most of the time. It did seem that Seaman was somehow able to get some picks, actually getting a nice hook onto a Flying Mercy, not something you usually see from a Roadhog. But GG's, Vancouver, Boston. Boston does take it in these final rounds of Season 1 of OWCC. It's hard for me to take its King's Row as serious as I would have, because I would have liked Boston to have continued to play to allow Vancouver to continue to improve. Your thoughts?
Well, the biggest thing I want to see from Vixens and their mechanics, I just want to see them work on a little bit more synergy, and that I definitely felt it between the tanks and the DPS, especially Brown Sugar, and the way that she was just popping off. And it goes without saying, but everything that you do can be improved upon.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give my VIPs after you. Vancouver, who stuck out to you?
Vancouver, I'm going to have to say Miss Ayla and Brown Sugar. I feel that together, those two, that is exactly what I like to see. Beautiful synergies. It needs to be improved upon, of course. But overall, it's good. It's solid on behalf of both of them, and Brown Sugar definitely earns it.
Absolutely. Now on the side of Boston, what do you have?
Boston, I'm going to have to say Miglet. Miglet really was doing a great job with the DPS.
I'm going to have to agree with you on Vancouver's side. Brown Sugar, great diva play. Dove with the Winston on Dorado, ate a lot of ults, was able to, even, I'm actually curious how Brown Sugar is going to adjust to with the changes coming from Diva. 2-second cooldown after you use your defense matrix before you can use it again. But great diva play. Loved seeing what I saw coming out from there. Again, great combo with the EMP, great placements as well of your bombs. Well done. On the side of Boston, I'm going to give it to Soups. Popping off on Widow, I would constantly see either a pick from Soups or 2 picks. So great aim, great shots, great positioning to be on the high ground and win uncontested most of the time. But that was basically allowed Soups to get those picks.
Agreed. I believe that you definitely are right in that regard. And if nothing else, it always does me proud that a team, no matter the odds, still remains positive and has that sportsman-like demeanor that Vixens strives to maintain throughout the entire game.
So my vote for sportsmanship of the game goes to Vancouver Vixens, but it is unfortunate that they go 0-4 against Boston Donwsizing. Rambino, we appreciated your beautiful color casting. Can you give us a, where the heck can we see you and where can we get more of your puns?
Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you for having me here today, and it is always, Spiff is a fantastic play-by-play caster. You can find me at twitch.tv/ChildishRambino, like Childish Gambino, instead of a G, it's an R. But more importantly, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Spifftastic, where can Twitch find you and your content? And
well, gosh. Well, guys, I am Spifftastic me. I do stream on Twitch about 6 days a week. Holy cow. Saturday through Thursday, you can find me at twitch.tv/SpifftasticMe. me. At 6 Eastern, that's 5 Central or 3 Pacific. You'll see a lot of different games on my channel. Right now, we're going through a a puzzle game. We're going through Tales of Borderlands. We got Yakuza 0 popping up soon. I also play this game that we're currently casting. You're going to see a lot of support play from me. Tomorrow I'm actually going to be casting another game. It's not going to be for the OWCC, so I'm not going to say what it is because that'd be rude, because there's a beautiful game tomorrow. I believe it's Florida versus the other team, because I remember Florida. But you guys, love if you hit the follow on both of our Twitch channels. Again, they're down below us, so you know how to spell it. Any other thoughts on the game or any other shout-outs you'd like to give, Rambino?
I'd only just to give a shout out to you, of course, for being a fantastic caster in general. Fantastic attitude, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what OWCC is all about, the positivity, the greatness of camaraderie, and the way that we bring fun to the game. Thank you so much for Spiff for being Spiff-tastic.
Well, thank you, Rambino, for the shout-out, guys. I have been Spectastic, me with a childish Rambino, for the game of Vancouver Vixens versus Boston Donwsizing. Boston Donwsizing does take it 4-0 in favor, and I'm going to look forward to seeing some more of these finals coming out from the OWCC. We got some more games coming to you in the following weeks. Hope you can see you here. All those games we casted right here on the twitch.tv/theowcc. Until that next time, I hope you have a spectastic rest of your day. Bye for now.